Yeah. Damn kid, always down. While my chin always pointed to the ground. Hang my head when I'm walking around. I wipe tears from my face on my bathroom towel. Until a typhoon came through when I met you. Cloudy days, let the sun through. Now I smile at the sunroof. Yeah. Maybe I'm crazy, I'm out of my mind, but nobody makes me come to life like you. Said everything that I do, just know I do it for you. Maybe I'm stupid, ignoring the signs, but you're on my brain like all the time. It's true that even when I dream, just know I'm dreaming of you. Yeah. So I'm fighting for the honor, guts, glam, glory. Without you in my life, I'm feeling more less than Dory. You're everything I ever needed, way more than a shorty. When we're together, all the boring things aren't as boring. So you're the first thing on my mind when I wake up in the morning, and you're the only one I'm checking if you're seeing my stories. You're the reason why I work out. Gotta get what you deserve now. Best biceps and quads, the best sense in jobs, a new house, garage, a poolside massage, some new shoes, barrage, with anything that you wanted. You don't gotta work, just sip on a gin and tonic. And if you need a break, we'll take a trip to the tropics. God damn, can't say I didn't try. Maybe I'm crazy, I'm out of my mind, but nobody makes me come to life like you. Said everything that I do, just know I do it for you. Maybe I'm stupid, ignoring the signs, but you're on my brain like all the time. It's true that even when I dream, just know I'm dreaming of you. Maybe I'm crazy, I'm out of my mind, but nobody makes me come to life like you. Said everything that I do, just know I do it for you. Yeah, just know I do it for you. Just know I do it for you. And I'm being serious. Snapchats, Instagram stories, even the freaking music, I really be doing this shit to impress you.
What's going on, everybody? How's it doing out there? It is good to be back. How's everyone? It is November 2nd, 2024. If you can't tell, my voice still sounds like crap, but I'm going to try and power through. I am going to try and get this going, keep it going, go as long as I can, talk about as many things as I can, frequent drinks of the water, maybe a little bit of coughing. I'll make sure I mute before I do that. And Nate, hi, there is no fellas today. It's just me. David is off. He watched our buddy and friend of the show, Jeff Yu, win his fight. Went six rounds, unanimous decision. Jeffrey got the win, so we're pumped for that. And we're going to have fun here. So let me quickly go through this preamble. So first things first, as always, Epstein client list. We need it. And everyone, if my sound sounds okay, let me know, because I was having some issues, or maybe that sounds like crap. Let me fix that. Hopefully it sounds better now. It was set to go through my computer. Hopefully now it's going through my microphone. Hopefully that sounds better. Let me guys know if that sounds okay. I know I sound like crap, but let me know if that sounds better overall. But let's do my little preamble here real quick. Hold on. We're going to get some frequent one of those. Did I end up hearing from Rob Noor about his 24-hour stream? Yes, I did, Nate. I'm going to try and jump on there probably a little after 1 a.m. Because he invited us on. I'd love to go on, so I appreciate that. Yeah, good. What's up, Mosin? How's it going, bud? So we appreciate that. So let's go real quick. Epstein client list. We need it. We got to have it, because there's too many people still walking out there that did some shit to little girls, and we need to make sure that they are brought to justice. So absolutely need to have that. Let's get that out there. Don't forget about the victims of Helene and Milton. because they still need us out there. I know the election is 3 days away. That is the thing that everybody is focusing on. But the biggest thing that we need to do right now still is remember our brothers and sisters, our friends over in North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, all the places that got hit by Helene Milton, because they still need us over there. So, absolutely donate to whoever you can. I always say Mercury One, but whoever you want to donate to, go and give a donation there. And spare $1 if you can. That's my biggest thing. And Moms for Liberty as well. Keep supporting them. $1 for Moms for Liberty to fight for against the woke shit, to get good candidates in state and local elections. So let's keep working there as well. Let me take this. Gonna be a rough one today, guys. Woo! This is gonna be fun. Anyway, just gonna try and power through. I'm sorry I sound like absolute shit today. But lastly, we still have the election coming up. So if you still can't yet, go to the election polls and or call them up, see if you can help work the polls. And if you still can early vote, go do it. If not, and you're waiting for election day, I don't care what you have to do, get out there and go vote, okay? Because we have to make this insurmountable. It can't be something small. Oh, I also have to tell everyone that for the next week, for the most part, it's going to be David. I am going on vacation. So I will try to pop in. Potentially, I'll maybe use my phone with headphones and sound like even worse. But it's mostly going to be David next week. So you guys will have fun talking to him. He's better than I am anyway. All right. So let's jump into the fun stuff today. I have some huge news. Anyone that watched the last live stream, which I'm sorry about that, my mixer was going fucking crazy. And I got a new one, and the new one sounds a lot better. But the old mixer, for whatever reason, just kept on having a whole bunch of static. So I know that whole episode sounded like garbage. I don't want to delete it because we talked to Coach Farrell, Hack, and David. He was over there. We talked to them about their playoff game that they had the following day. Happy to announce that Manchester, my home, defeated West Deptford in their first ever home playoff game and their first ever playoff victory of all time, 30-29, with a field goal, 37-yard field goal with 9 seconds left. Nate, we're heading to Disney. Me and my family heading to Disney, my two girls. We're going to get to go and give money to the evil empire, but it's still a magical place for them. I don't regret going to Disney because Disney, most of the employees don't know the dumb shit or don't care. They're just trying to work. So we're going to go have some fun there. But I want to show some highlights. First, now remember, this is a high school kid in a small rinky-dink town that kicked a 37-yard field goal to win the game. So I want to go over to this tweet from Bob Batters, who does great coverage down there. And I want you guys to see, I have a few angles of this because obviously I am pumped. This is my alma mater. So I am absolutely pumped for this. So let's watch. I'll full screen this. Let's watch Bob Batters' coverage of this. The snap, boom, through the freaking uprights. And look at the celebration. Left 2 seconds left on the clock after that kick. High school kid, 37-yarder. They drove down the field with under 2 minutes left to get to that point. The fans were rushing. They got a flag, but they didn't give a shit. So I was watching that live stream. It was freaking fantastic. I'm going to show, there's a few more things I want to show you about this because one of the coolest parts about this, like I mentioned, they got the ball back. It was under 2 minutes or maybe just a little over 2 minutes. This was the first play that happened when they got the ball back. Star quarterback Aiden Lunn delivered a fucking dart to his favorite target, MJ Goins, who are two of the best players in Manchester history. I just want you guys to see this throw. It is absolutely incredible. And yeah, I'm just bragging about my team right now, but here it is. Takes it, shuffles, doesn't give a shit about the double coverage. Boom, right in there. That was the first play off of getting the ball back. So just ballsy. ballsy stuff. Loving what I see. That is a big time throw, trusting your favorite receiver, doing what you got to do. And the last thing I want to show about that is Coach Farrell and what he had to say. The kick is there again in the video that he has. But what Coach Farrell had to say is even more important to me because this is a reason why we all want him to stay as a coach and we love him as a coach. And we hope he goes nowhere. So here's what Coach Farrell had to say there. People of the Manchester community deal with adversity on a daily basis. The ending of this game represents our town. This win is for these young men in this amazing community. Hashtag job not finished. So Coach Farrell is for the community. He's already one of the best head coaches in the history of Manchester, if not obviously. He got the playoff win here. We've had some amazing coaches as well, but he gets his playoff win. And I mean, it was such a fun game to watch. Back and forth. Tip my caps to West Deptford. They were fantastic. That is a well-coached football team. That is a very good football team. To come into Manchester, into that environment where the Hawks and their fans, the Hawks Nest was live, and to have that lead towards that point of the game and to fight the way they did, I tip my cap to West Deptford. Incredible job for them. But I'm even happier for those boys in my alma mater, Manchester. They proved that they belong there, that they deserve this home playoff game, and that they are ready to go. Now they're going to face one of the best teams in the state, Point Borough, and if they shock the world, they'll be going for a state championship. So there's a lot to be excited about in Manchester right now, and I wish Coach Farrell and that group nothing but success. And yeah, I'll be watching the next game. I'm freaking excited for them. All right, let's jump into the next topic here. Now, the next topic is something that has been really polarizing on the internet. And people are curious why, but let's go over this real quick. So boom, boom. It's a lot easier when I have David here pulling things up. The show runs much smoother. But David has decided to have friends. Anyway, let's go. From the New York Post, P'Nut the Squirrel, beloved pet and internet sensation, euthanized after being seized by New York State. So I want to correct this here because I honestly hate that they say euthanized here. I know that is the proper term when we put down animals. But New York State did not euthanize P'Nut the Squirrel. New York State killed P'Nut the Squirrel. And I think that needs to be said that way. They killed P'Nut the Squirrel. Now, who was P'Nut the Squirrel? P'Nut the Squirrel of internet fame has been euthanized after the pet was seized by New York State earlier this week, according to the Department of Environmental Conservation. The 7-year-old gray rescue squirrel, commonly referred to as P'Nut on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, was put to death along with Fred the raccoon, so the animals could be tested for the presence of rabies, according to a statement from the agency obtained by WETM. So they went in to the owner's house when they were not there, apparently. Took their pets because apparently people on the internet were saying that these animals don't belong, they could have rabies, blah, 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 other signs, and New York State seized them. Let's continue. P'Nut's guardian, Mark Longo, took to Instagram to memorialize his beloved pet in a video. Through tears, Longo, with his girlfriend at his side, said P'Nut was the best thing that ever happened to us. R.I.P. my best friend. Thank you for the best 7 years of my life. Thank you for bringing me so much joy. Thank you for bringing so much joy to us around the world. I'm sorry I failed you, but thank you for everything. Longo wrote in a caption to the post announcing P'Nut's death. Longo asked for financial help for legal battle for his nonprofit P'Nuts of Freedom. So if you want to go support on there, go find Longo on Instagram. I don't know if I can find his Instagram handle on here. Let me see. I'm going to open this. Maybe I'll be able to give it to you. Bloop, bloop, bloom. So it's P'Nut_the_squirrel12. That is where you can go find that, and you'll see Longo talking there. Okay. So let's keep going here. Actually, let's go to that statement because I think this is going to be more powerful instead. So let's get the sound on here and let's do this.
I don't know how I'm going to say this. I just want to say thank you to all of you. P'Nut was the best thing that ever happened to us. And we got confirmation that they put him down. I want to continue to fight this fight as much as I can, but we need all of you to come together and help us. Please continue to help us raise money for the ongoing legal battles and for our nonprofit so we can keep P'Nut's name alive. Thank you all.
So that was the statement right there. That's hard shit. Now here's the thing: whether you agreed with him having the pet or not, people are allowed to have weird pets, and it's not like they just had him as a pet, because they opened up a sanctuary for animals using the fame of P'Nut, and I believe Fred the raccoon was there. So let's see what else. So P'Nut was rescued by guardian Mark Longo after the Connecticut native witnessed P'Nut's mother hit by a car. The resilient and adorable P'Nut inspired Longo to move to upstate last year and found P'Nut's Freedom Farm, an animal sanctuary and rescue operation. So because this individual cared for this squirrel and saw that this squirrel was probably going to die in the wild. When babies lose their mothers, usually they die. He took sympathy on the squirrel. And he decided that because of this, and obviously this man and his girlfriend love animals, they decided to create a pet sanctuary. I don't understand why New York had to kill this animal. It's terrible here. Now I want to switch to Buck Sexton because I think he puts this very well in his X post here. So at Buck Sexton. Now this is a long one, so bear with me here. I understand that New York State killing P'Nut the Squirrel involves the death of a rodent, and to some people that seems unimportant. But when you bond with an animal as a pet, there's a sentimental and emotional connection that should be respected. That New York State would allow some bureaucrats under the umbrella of a conservation agency to take someone's pet and kill it just displays a vindictive sociopathy that is a defining feature of so many Democrat-controlled government agencies today. None of this is an accident. The mentality of the Democrat bureaucrat is much more similar to the status sadist described in Solzhenitsyn's Gulag Archipelago than we want to believe. But just like then, they demand you submit to the whim of the machine. And vicious, random, and unfair. Sorry. That's because the underlying premise of the machine is that it cannot be wrong by definition, and your rights are just in the way. Solzhenitsyn described the frustration that Soviet officials would feel with the outrage of those innocents arrested. It didn't matter that the victim of the state had done nothing wrong. The machine was a system, and anything slowing it down was friction, to be treated as waste. So it is with many of these statist bureaucrats today. They have low show jobs, often of little or no productive value, so they wield whatever authority they have to in a vindictive, mechanistic way. Now an employee of the state of New York pretending that a beloved pet, one that raised money for an animal rescue, is a rabies risk, is the worst kind of petty tyranny. Everyone knew it was bullshit, but the state goons went along with it anyway. The government and public at large had no real interest or benefit from the machine's actions in this case, but its assembly line of pointless chorality continued. Yes, P'Nut was just a squirrel, but a state agency that would confiscate and kill your harmless pet for no reason is also one that would lock you up for refusing to take an experimental vaccine. And in the name of the system, under certain circumstances, do things far more monstrous and cruel under the guise of necessary and right. And I think Buck puts this in a good way because people are like, why is the squirrel the big issue that is really making people go crazy? Blah, 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 blah. And what people need to understand is this is not just about P'Nut the Squirrel. This is about the government stepping in and overstepping like they often do. I live in New York State. I would be fucking pissed if they walked into my door and took my dog and decided that because my dog did nothing wrong, I had my dog on the internet a whole ton, but some people said, hey, he might be a risk because of X, Y, and Z. They barged in, took my dog, and then told me later that they killed it. Fuck that. That is something that is stepping over the line because we have a right to our property in this country. No government is allowed to overstep and take your property. That is state, local, federal. It does not matter unless you did something wrong to the point where your property needs to be seized. From everything I've seen, Mark Longo did nothing wrong. P'Nut the Squirrel did nothing wrong. Fred the Raccoon did nothing wrong. They put in that article that apparently the raccoon bit one of the handlers on the way out. Well, fuck that person. Good. It was scared. Its owner wasn't present, and you went to take it. It defended itself in its territory. That is a normal thing. If you go into a pet's territory, it is going to bite you. That is not a sign of the animal being aggressive or doing anything wrong. It is doing what an animal does. So this story is much bigger than just being about a squirrel. If you want to go and help, let me see if I can find this. Because it is wild that they even did this. If you would like to go and help, I'm pretty sure you can go over here. Let me get this up. And donate in some way. Because this is, again, a tragedy. Go on to www.pnuts, that's P-N-U-N-T-S, freedomfarm.com. And you can go over here and you could see talking about Peanuts Freedom Farm, what they do, being a sanctuary and things like that. And you can be over here and you can help. It has the tax ID and everything. And I believe, you can go right to the donations page and you could donate to the not-for-profit. They're going to need you. And here's the thing. I don't give a fuck if him or his girlfriend are going to vote for Donald Trump or not. Because what happened there is a fellow citizen having something done terribly wrong to them. And I know they're gaining a ton of credit and a ton of sympathy from the right, the conservative community, as they should, because we are the ones that are all about protecting property, and we need to be consistent. Because Mark Longo and his girlfriend very well could have voted for Kamala Harris. Who the fuck knows? They're Connecticut natives. They live in New York. Chance they're a leftist, right? Whether or not they are, we need to stand up and we need to help try to do something for them. And I know I started off asking for you to give money to Helena Milton, Moms for Liberty, blah, blah, blah. This is also an important one. I'm not going to spam this at the beginning of every episode like I do the other ones. But this one's important in the sense that we need to make sure that people have the ability to fight against tyranny in the government when it occurs. It's important. It's very important that we do this stuff. So, yeah, that story, when I saw that pissed me the fuck off, because that is something that should not be happening in our government here. All right. So, want to do a hard shift here. I like the scientific crazy shit. So, while Dave's not here, we're going to do some stuff, because I know David's not as much of a weirdo with this stuff about me. But this I found interesting. And it's not your typical article about blocking out the sun. So, plans to cool the earth by blocking sunlight are gaining momentum, but critical voices risk being excluded. So, this is on The Conversation. And the thing about The Conversation is all these articles are written by students or professors or things like that. So, The Conversation is different in that way. A lot of individuals here are probably on the left. I don't care. This article is interesting for the reason it's written by Albert Van Rinsgarden, Adrian Hines, and Chloe Colmer. Albert's a PhD candidate, Scott Polar Research Institute, University of Cambridge. Adrian's a PhD candidate, Institute for Water Futures, Fenner School of Environmental and Society, Australian National University. And Chloe is a PhD candidate at UCL Science, Technology, Engineering, and Public Safety Department at UCL. So they're all students. I'll read some of this, but I really want to give a tip of my cap to these students because I think what they come up with at the end and in the middle of it, what they start talking about is pretty important. So let's read the beginning here. Solo geoengineering research is advancing fast after a recent flurry of funding announcements. Yet these technologies are still speculative and have many critics, and we worry their concerns won't be heard. If geoengineering is essentially allowed to self-regulate with no effective global governance, future research could easily take us down a dangerous path. Now, I don't know how many of you guys realize how brave it is. And, we always talk about people are being so brave. People are being blah, blah, blah. For these students in their field that they're going into, which has something to do with, research and the environment, to just pen that first paragraph, to not fully give a wholehearted endorsement of anything the leftists are trying to do to control shit. Just being in control, whether it's the environment, whether it's government, whether it's anything, that is already putting their PhDs at risk. I'm not going to lie. Let's continue. Solo geoengineering refers to proposals to reduce global warming by reflecting a portion of sunlight back into space before it reaches the Earth. In its best known form, it means using high-flying aircraft to inject tiny reflective particles into the upper atmosphere. So what always drives me fucking crazy about all of these proposals for climate stuff, right? They want to sit there and say, hey, we're going to stop something by adding something else that's experimental to it. They want to put a bunch of reflective particles that are going to sit in the fucking air, in the upper ends of the atmosphere. What could ever go wrong, right? These are the same people telling you that a clear gas that is naturally emitted by humans, by animals, by mammals, is the absolute cause of warming. So letting out particles that are reflective, that we probably have no fucking clue what they actually do when they are let out en masse, because there's going to have to be probably quadrillions of this stuff put in the air to accomplish what they want to. They're trying to tell us that they will possibly be able to understand the effects of what's going to go on after this. Let's continue. This so-called stratospheric aerosol injection, these fucking idiots, hasn't actually happened yet, beyond a few very small experiments with balloons. Yet for a long time, such ideas remain fringe and too controversial to even consider. And for some academics, they still are. Let's see. So the academic discussion was highly polarized from the start. Opponents, mainly governance scholars and social scientists, stood firmly entrenched against assumed proponents, mainly natural scientists and engineers. So I'm going to skip some of that. Polarization is still visible. Take examples. They talk about articles, blah, blah, blah. A public and private funding boom. Though the two camps had not resolved, so major philanthropic pledges of $50 million and $30 million from Simons and Quadra Climate Foundations, which are vying for the title of biggest donor with the 10.5 million euro and 56.8 million euro from the UK government, UKRI, Advanced Research and Innovation Program. So people are already giving a fuck ton of money towards this stuff. And it is terrifying. And Nate, cool on the earth, what could go wrong? Yeah, seriously. Thank you, Nate G, for that comment, as always. Other key organizations, including the European Commission, US government, World Climate Research Program, they're speaking about the need for more research. So they're saying that they want to conduct experiments in our atmosphere, release shit in our atmosphere to see what will happen. What could possibly happen? So how many times they fail? No, it's not going to have any effect on you. Fuck off, peon. If you guys suffer because of our failed experiments of trying to put random shit in the atmosphere to block out some particles, if you suffer, fuck off, dude. We don't care about you. You're useless. What was that one person from the World Economic Forum called a bunch of us useless eaters? He's now, I think, one of the leaders, right? He's right under Klaus Schwab. But a bunch of useless eaters, right? We're a bunch of useless eaters. So, they call for a moratorium, it says over here. So, blah, 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 blah. So, recent UN Environmental Assembly session in Kenya, many climate vulnerable nations mobilize against calls for further research into what they see as highly risky technology that would enable big emitters to carry on emitting. So, the 1.5 degrees Celsius global warming target is moving further out of sight. Nobody cares about that. That target is fake. What people need to understand when these PhD students, they're obviously, when you read this, they are probably entrenched in the camp of that global warming, global climate change catastrophe, whatever the fuck they want to call it right now, is actually happening and is a real thing. So they use a lot of language that puts them in there. But again, their bravery for pushing back against this cannot be discounted. So in the near future, we can therefore expect further research, perhaps including small-scale outdoor experiments. And they say here, as PhD students working on geoengineering, situated somewhere between both camps, we have found this polarization deeply unproductive and difficult to deal with. So that's a little soft, okay? I get it. They just want to do their research, but unproductive and difficult to deal with. I will give them a little advice on this. That's science, guys. And the fact that you guys as PhD students haven't grasped that science is arguing, science is debating, science is researching and trying to prove each other wrong at massive scales. Polarization is a good thing in science. You want to do these types of things. The fact that it's difficult to deal with, I don't care. Let's continue because they complain some more. Our own research sometimes feels like we're wandering through a minefield of opinions and perspectives. Yet we can also see the valuable concerns and hopes of both sides. Okay. If you are a good scientist, you will always be wandering through those minds and those minefields, opinions, and perspectives. Because if you're doing anything effective, there will be controversy. Now, I'm not saying I agree with this blocking out the sun bullshit. But what I will say is anything that is going to be big is always going to be a problem with somebody somewhere. Okay? It is always going to be an issue with somebody somewhere. So don't complain about that. Yeah, Operation Popeye worked great ass them over at fucking Vietnam. Crazy ass motherfuckers. Anyway, let's keep going here with this one. So this is actually this whole last part is actually solid here. That's why we believe that upcoming research projects must factor in the concerns of opponents and not represent only supporters of geoengineering or those who have been explicitly against it. Excluding critical voices would directly impact the scientific process, for one thing. So it does show they understand some of it. But this exclusion is especially worrying as there are currently no governance structures for solar geoengineering. So I'm always concerned with governance structures, that word right there, because they're talking a lot about a global governance, and global governance is fake. Global governance does not exist. The UN tries, and they're trying to gain power even more, and we can't let them have that. States, nation states need to have their own sovereignty. There can't be a global governance. It's the UN cannot set standards for the world to what's acceptable, because what's right for us in the United States isn't right for people in Nepal. It's not right for those in China. It's not right for those in Guinea, whatever the fuck it is, or Ecuador or Italy or anything like that. So we need to, that type of stuff. Again, I understand where these students probably lie, but I don't like that type of language. All right, let's keep going. If efforts to develop such governance only involve supportive researchers, they could lack the critical capacity to prevent risk or undesired effects. So again, what they don't understand is the type of people that are going to make governance to allow this are the type of peoples who do not like pushback. So they only want supporters amongst their midst. They would not want anyone against them, because what they need to understand is the ones against them right now are the ones that they consider Nazis, fascists, people that are against progress. So unfortunately, these students are running the risk of being labeled that just by kind of talking about common sense stuff here, things that don't even need to be said. Disasters in the financial sector and the chemical industry warn us of the perils of self-regulation without critical voices. I mean, agreed in a lot of ways with that. Learn from the critics. Let's just finish off because there's not much left here. There are other critiques that ought to be factored into any major research project. They include concerns that simply researching the technology will create a slippery slope towards it being deployed, or worries that geoengineering ignores the social and political dynamics behind climate change and addresses only its outcomes. A little bit run on there, but yes, absolutely yes. That is 100% a correct statement. Because, yes, number one, if they start this and they really start getting the funding, which they are, and they start experimenting in earnest, they will just start to do it. They just do shit all the time that we don't ask for. So it absolutely will happen. What their observation there is 100% correct. And when you're talking about the people that are going to do this, the UN, the World Economic Foundation, and things like that, World Economic Forum, sorry, and all those countries that sign on to this stuff, they are not concerned about the social and political dynamics of the other side. They are only concerned with their side and doing and being in control. So let's keep going. There are also major governance concerns over issues such as the role of the military. Could geoengineering be deployed for security reasons in contested regions like the Arctic, or the concentration of research at influential institutions in the US and Europe? So, two things with that. Number one, I'm sorry to break it to them. Geoengineering has already been used by the militaries, and probably in the Arctic. It's been a tactic, like Nate Cheese said. Operation Popeye, they've already been using geoengineering in some sort of way for military tactics. That is factual and provable. And the concentration of research being in the US and Europe, it only makes sense, guys. I'm sorry. Sorry to break that to them. That's why you guys are all studying in places in the US and Europe, right? You're not studying in some random third world country. You might do a trip there for a sabbatical, but you're not actually at a school there, because unfortunately, the West has the most money. Now, China and stuff can do it as well. Don't get me wrong. But in a overall, the West has the most money to do this shit. So of course it is going to be done there. That makes just the most sense. Okay. Over time, geoengineering researchers have become more aware of such arguments, as some are explicitly trying to blah, 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 include them. Don't care about that. But without active dialogue with critical scholars, their arguments will likely only echo faintly in the pro-research space. In practice, more engagement between two camps would come with many difficulties. For advocates, it could be tempting to avoid such debates and exclude those who disagree with the very foundations of which their research is built on. On the flip side, some scholars who already explicitly argued against the continuation of soil geoengineering research would nevertheless have to participate in it. So here's the thing. I agree that both sides should come together and debate. That is a part of the scientific process. But again, what these kids need to understand, to these people, and honestly, that's not wrong, it is a battle of good and evil. That's what this is. And the whole point that needs to be taken here is the ones trying to block out the earth, the people arguing for climate change that are up top, the ones that are in the know. And if you studied anything with what went on with Chairman Mao, there are those that know what's going on, and then it trickles down more and more of the need to know. Those that know don't actually give a fuck about the climate at all. They want control. Climate is the next version and the best way to get control of the masses. And that is what this is all about. They're closing right here. The practical implications will therefore need to be carefully worked out. However, a more productive dialogue might still shape the future that can be acceptable to all sides. So while I disagree with some of the stuff in this piece, I thought it was actually very well done, and very honestly massive, that Albert Van Winsgarten, Adrian Hines, and Chloe Colmer would even write this. I hope it doesn't cost them a lot, because things like this do not sit well with those in their community that want to see this stuff happen. They are very domineering people. They're very vengeful people, and they're always right. I think that their concerns about exactly how this would be used and the fact that it's just going to happen is correct. And unfortunately, more than likely, the uber wealthy that are going to fund this, we will probably see this go on at some point. Um, Even if Donald Trump does win in 3 days, there's still a really good chance that something like this happens anyway, because they're pushing so far and there's so many governments around the world that are going to continue to do it. Even if, Trump pulls against it if he wins. If Kamala wins, we're absolutely going to have it happen. And she's going to fucking fund the research. She's going to put massive amounts of money towards this. And you guys will have the sun blocked out, guys. And it's just going to look like a cloudy day to you. And the crazy part is, and mark my words, if and when this does happen, we're going to be screaming from the rooftops, it's going on, it's going on, it's going on. And people are going to be like, you're insane. It's just conservatives and Republican, the right, those Nazis saying that the government can control the weather. We know they can't when cloud seeding's a thing. And people still want to put their heads in the sand for that. So be ready for it to happen, everyone, because that's exactly going to be the playbook. Hold on one second, everyone. All right, my voice had a pretty good run there. It needed a second. I give it some credit there. All right, let's go on to our next story. I thought this one was pretty cool. Now we know that Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. Well, maybe you don't. If you don't know, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney bought Wrexham Football, which was a very low-level English football team, and they bought this team, and they did Welcome to Wrexham, which was a big hit about this small club, their town, and how it engulfed them. And it helped this club get a lot more funding, a lot more fans, a lot more success. Freaking awesome. Okay. But they're moving on. So Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney sell Wrexham Football stake to pursue another news business venture. This is from Men's Journal. And this makes it sound kind of sleazy and suck, right? Let's read it. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney have chronicled their work as the owners of Wales Wrexham AFC soccer team in their FX series Welcome to Wrexham, like I said. Now, having worked to build up the brand, the actors are selling off a portion of their ownership of the team to work on another business venture together, though they won't have to go too far. So they're selling off a portion, so they're not selling off the whole thing. According to Hollywood Reporter, the duo is selling a minority stake in Wrexham AFC and acquiring a local brewery in an effort to expand the club and its influence. They're selling the stake to a wealthy New York-based Allen family and are taking over Wrexham Lager Beer Company with a new joint venture called Red Dragon Ventures. So I don't know about you guys, but I think this is fucking awesome that they're not abandoning this club. They very well could have done this as a novelty thing, made their show, got success, helped Wrexham a little bit. They bubble them. And then they're like, you know what? Let's dap up. We each did our thing. Boom. We helped you. You helped us. Let's go. We're out. But the cool thing is they're not. Seems like they're staying in it for a long haul. Let's hear what they have to say here. Wrexham has earned the world's attention, and we are focused on bringing on board world-class partners to help with the next phase of our growth, Reynolds and McElhenney said in a statement. We have been fortunate to get to know the Allen family, and we're blown away by their intelligence, kindness, and commitment. They are exactly the type of partners we will need in this amazing adventure. New business partners. I don't care about what, they have a company over here in Syracuse, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let's continue here. Wrexham Lager is by no means a new beer brand. It was founded in Wales in 1882 and is the oldest still operational lager brewery in the UK. Passengers aboard the Titanic even drank it, and Reynolds was reportedly so interested in the brand that he claims to have commissioned a dive to the famous shipwreck last year in hopes of salvaging some bottles. Luckily, Welcome to Wrexham fans and beer lovers in the US and Canada will get to taste the lager for themselves as North American distribution gets underway in the coming months. So not only are they buying the beer company, Ryan Reynolds is a fucking madman trying to see if they could put a dive down there to collect some old school bottles, which would be really sick if they can grab some and they would display it some places. But they're also bringing it to the United States, which I think is incredibly smart because after the Welcome to Wrexham fame, people are going to want to buy their beer. It's just going to be it. You gain a ton of fans and people are going to want to buy the beer. The last thing they said here, as co-chairman of Wrexham AFC, we have learned a lot. the actor said of the new venture, the connection between the club and community, the intricacies of the offsides rule, and the occasional need for a beer, especially after finance meetings. Wrexham Lager has a 140-year-old recipe and a storied history, and we're excited to help write its next chapter. So I thought that was pretty dope. Just the fact that they're not abandoning the soccer club. The headline, obviously, it's a written headline to make it seem like they're dipping out and starting a new business venture. And that's what I thought, to be quite honest, when I read the headline. But it is a pleasant surprise to see that they are just trying to make it better. They are just trying to continue the brand and move it forward. So I do like that. I'm really happy about that. And I'm excited. I'll probably try the lager because I think that's pretty fucking cool that they did that. So, yeah. And in the words of Forrest Gump, that's all I got to say about that. But all right, one of the things we're going to almost end on. It's one of those, I had to watch it. So now you motherfuckers do. Okay. So let's go to this absolutely awful, awful, awful campaign video for Kamala Harris posted on Mark Ruffalo's page. Mark Ruffalo has an X post, says, "We're back. Let's hashtag assemble for democracy in the hashtag election endgame. Every vote counts. Hashtag vote blue. Vote at Kamala Harris, at Tim Waltz." All right. Guys, I apologize ahead of time. This is incredibly cringy, but let's do it.
Hi, you guys. Hi, Avengers.
Hi.
Thanks
Hey,
for
Scarlett.
jumping on the call.
Whoa. I think you mean assembling. I said
Wow.
assembling. Don, that's pretty good. No, they thought it was funny.
Scarlett,
So right away, this was shot fucking terribly. It jump skips like this the whole time. And it really makes me believe that they couldn't take the time to actually do a call like this, to actually do a big group call. Just get in a Discord or do something and do a big fucking group call. It actually seems like they just all sent these videos individually together, which probably they did. But to me, that's fucking terrible. That's terrible. What do they have to do? They're actors. None of them are doing anything. Let's keep going here.
is our pleasure to come together and to get the vote out this election. Come on.
Yeah, how can we be of service?
Well, how about we start with what our voting plans are going to be, who we're going to bring to the polls with us, that sort of thing. Just
I think Kamala Harris needs a catchphrase.
Ooh.
So these people are actually pretty good actors for the most part. That's fucking terrible acting. Robert Downey Jr. is a fantastic actor. I think Kamala Harris needs a catchphrase. Like, that was the worst delivered acting ever. Maybe they just need directors. Like, they're bad on their own. Maybe they need directors because the acting in this is so fucking bad. Let's keep going with this terribleness.
Ooh, yes, definitely a catchphrase.
How about this? I'm just off the top of my head. I can do this all day.
Shut.
Oh hey guys, remember I said that in a movie? I said that one time in a movie you guys liked and remembered. Do you remember that? I could do this all day. Hey guys, hey people, Democrats, I'm cool. I'm hip. Keep going.
Oh, I hate it.
Okay.
I mean, it's original, but
What about something punchier like, ooh, boom. You looking for this? Iron Man 2, everybody loved it.
Oh yeah, Don Cheadle coming in. Yeah, boom, you looking for this? Yeah, let's do more catchphrases, everybody. Hey guys, honestly, I like those movies. I didn't fucking remember when Don Cheadle said that in Iron Man 2. And that's exactly why Robert Downey Jr. had to say Iron Man 2, because I guarantee nobody else remembered Don Cheadle said that. Let's keep going.
okay, again, I think we're just trying to get out the vote.
Kamala forever.
That's better.
Oh yeah, that's so good. Kamala forever. Let's do that because she's so black, right? So stupid, this whole thing.
Okay, how about I'm down with democracy? It's just clean, it's simple.
Okay, I like that.
It's hard to argue with that.
Kamala Harris down with democracy.
Oh, yeah. I'm Kamala Harris, and I say down with democracy.
Funny thing is, quiet part out loud. The whole end of this is exactly how they feel. Let's keep going.
I don't know if that sounds the way we want it to sound, though.
I think we just need, can we get some production though?
Jarvis?
My name's not Jarvis, but whatever.
Oh yeah, that's right. Down with democracy.
Down with democracy.
Is that what we mean, though?
Yeah, together we're gonna tear down democracy.
Will you stop playing heroic music under yourselves?
I'm Kamala Harris, and I am down with democracy.
Again, they're not acting there. They're going to tear down democracy. That's what they want to do. Tear down. Now, granted, in the words of Pat Gray, we're not a democracy. We're absolutely a republic. But they believe that we're a quote unquote democracy. They're telling you exactly what they want to do here. Let's finish off this cringiness.
Did I sound enough like her on that one?
That was great. How many Golden Globes have you been nominated for? I'm just curious.
Yes! All right, that was awesome.
So that was that. I mean, who does that move the needle for? Who is watching that wasn't voting for Kamala, that's now going, yeah, that really made me want to go out and vote for her? Because they decided to make jokes about something and use some catchphrases we maybe remembered from 20 years ago. Yeah, really want to go vote for her now. That's the stuff right there. That's exactly what I needed 3 days before election day to move me over the needle and get me to go vote for her. Who? Why do these actors and actresses feel the need to do this shit? It makes me want to not support them. I'm not going to lie. And I like most of those actors and actresses in there. Mark Ruffalo can eat a dick. He's the only one I kind of just dislike. He's not a good, he's okay as the Hulk. Edward Norton was significantly better. But it's like the rest of them in there, like Chris Evans, I like him as an actor. Robert Downey Jr. is a good actor. Obviously ScarJo's good and she's smoking hot. The Donnie chick, whatever the fuck her name is, I didn't care about her in Black Panther. Who else was in there? The dude that plays Vision, he's fine. But it's like, it was so stupid. It was just bad. None of that is ever needed. And I swear to God, if anyone on the right does that stupid bullshit, I will disavow. I will disavow them. I will say they are not on our team. I will kick them off. Because if you need that to go vote, then you should not be allowed to vote. Like, that should be a test. Did that video influence you one way or the other? And if it was anything but Kamala Harris is a retard, then you should not be allowed to vote. Because that is just, it's so stupid. Yes, she needs a catchphrase. What the fuck do you mean she needs a catchphrase? Of course they do. That's part of the election. Her catchphrase is not going back. Turn the page. That's been her catchphrase. You idiots don't realize that. Now they do. They're playing dumb. But it's like 3 days before the election, we're going to say she needs a catchphrase. She's down for democracy. Whatever the fuck that means. It's just so beyond brain dead. And it hurts. I just want these people to be good at not being themselves. Because obviously when they're themselves, they kind of suck. And let's mind you, Mark Ruffalo's last movie, he was a fucking pedophile in that. Fucking a girl who was actually a young chick's brain inside of an older woman. He was actually, they were making pedophilia cool. So fuck Mark Ruffalo. He's gross. I mean, I don't know. I ended off, we're not going to end off on that. We're going to end off on this. I want to give everyone, we talked about Pulsecast last time, a few times ago. This is what Glenn Beck and Stu Burguiere do to kind of track how the polls are going. This isn't to give confidence or the opposite. I just want to see it and show it here. So right now, as of yesterday, November 1st, this is the Pulsecast. Trump, 53.06 chance to win. Harris, 46.94 chance to win. Obviously well within every margin of error. So again, what this does is Stu Burguiere takes the aggregate of basically all the reputable polls. all the reputable like conglomerate things, and just mashes them together. He doesn't add any of his own secret sauce. He doesn't add any of his own like style to average out or anything like that. He just mashes it together, puts it on there. And that's what it's saying right now. Could it be right? Yes. Could it be wrong? Yes. What we need to know is go vote. Because I do want to show you 31st, he was a little bit lower. But the 30th, he was at a solid 54%. He lost over 1% in one day. I don't know what happened, but he was at 54.03 on the 29th, 53.98 the 28th. So it's not like the Pulsecast doesn't fluctuate. It does. Kamala gains, Kamala loses. Kamala gains, Kamala loses. Same with Trump. But I'll end off on this. Let's get the fuck out there and vote, everyone. Mosin, you're correct. Hollywood folks are goobers. Absolutely, they're goobers. Weirdos. Absolute weirdos. But we'll end out on this. Get out and vote. Keep doing it. If you can early vote still, go do it. If not, make it a point, like I started off on this, make it a point to get out on election day. It is important. And this is going to be the last time that you guys are hearing me talk about this before election day, because fortunately, I will be in sunny Florida for election day. And I will be able to, whether it's good or bad, be able to at least be in paradise for the start of it, of a good time in 4 years, or keep continuing our downfall as a country. Either way, we just need to get out there and battle, because keep on playing the game like you're losing. Always play the game like you're losing. Never get complacent. If you still have those people around you that are like, I'm not voting, drag their asses out. Bring them to vote. I don't care if you're in a blue area. I don't care where you are. Remind them their local, state vote matters. So whether or not your federal may not matter, your local and state absolutely do. So it is important to get out there. All right, everyone. I made it through. The voice lasted a little bit. Hopefully it didn't sound too bad. I'll get some rest over the next week or so. And like I said, I might be popping in and using my phone and my headphones. If I get some spare time as I'm on vacation, I might jump on and say what's up to everybody. And, if David's on, talk to him. But overall, I'll be basically out for the next week. Yeah, have some fun. David will probably be joining me later if we are on Rob Noor's Normal America. He is doing here. Let's pop in with Rob real quick. That's what I will do. He is doing a 24-hour live stream to get out the vote and to encourage people to vote. Over here is on right now. Let's go listen in. There he is.
And then I think Ted Cruz.
So we're watching live. Prime time, Alex Stein. Prime time 99. On with Rob Noor.
The future of conservatism hangs in the balance of Donald Trump.
If you haven't gone over there, go watch.
I don't think they understand.
Switch over from here. I'll be okay if you switch over now. Go over and watch it, and go support, because he's freaking awesome. Best thing to do right here. I'm gonna go do it. Boom, smash that like button and share it. If you're over here right now, go over there. Share
it'll
that.
come to me by the end of tonight, but
Because I'll be on later.
Hotel room right now.
And we'll go have some fun there.
Pumping himself up here. What
But
I mean though is, I think you're absolutely.
See you later, Rob. But yes, I will be back later, and later on Rob's, hopefully. And I appreciate everyone for being in there. Mosin, thank you so much for popping in. We appreciate it. Santos, I know you were there. I appreciate that. Nate, as always, appreciate you, buddy. And guys, I'll be on vacation. I'll be in Disney. David will be here holding down the shop, and I'll be back when I'm back. Like I said, I might be popping in throughout the week. Everybody, thank you so much. Go to